Hi guys, it's your boy Gadget Man 404 here, very excited as today I'm doing a bit of a range test with the new DJI Mavic Mini. Now I got my Mavic Mini last Friday because I've been so busy at the weekend because I work every weekend. I haven't had time to fly it until the first flight was yesterday. Well, I think, tell a lie. It was Monday morning. I did a hover test on Monday morning, and then yesterday I did these two flights. Now this video is a long video, guys. I'll give you a heads up, so spoiler alert, because there's two flights in one. This flight is, again, as always, in West Hallam because it's my test area. I'm filming in 2.7K, 30 frames a second. And I'm slightly turning the gimbal down because I'm getting a bit of glare from the right hand corner. I have turned the Evo down for the exposure, and I originally turned it down to 0.7, but when it was coming back it was on 1.0, and I think it was just a little bit still too dark. So this hasn't been edited, guys. I haven't put yet any titles, probably not going to put any music to it. It's just me talking to you, explaining what I'm doing and why. This is a very bad Wi-Fi area. I've always had issues with my Bebop and even my Phantom and my Xeno, but my Xeno won't go further than 1,000 meters, so roughly when it hits that range it always turns back, whereas my Bebop could go further than 1,000 meters, but it won't. It always gets around about 900-ish. Now this building's to the right middle that you're seeing now with a bit of glow. If you see, if I turn to the left a little bit, you don't get the glow. Is West Hallam Storage Depot. Now it's been here since World War times. I think originally it used to be used for storing munitions for the war. And they kept all the buildings, and over the years factories have moved into those buildings and built their own buildings, and now it's a massive storage depot. People store their cars there, their caravans there, and like I say, there's loads of factories there. Thorntons, BMW, Minis, Astras, BMWs, you name it. Loads and loads of car manufacturers store their cars there, but it is a gated place, so you've got no chance of thinking you're going to nick some cars, because they want your registration when you go in and your registration when you come out, so you've got no chance. Again, I'm going to get a bit of glare on the right as I'm sort of turning. There you go, I get a little bit of a purpley glaze. I think as I was turning I was moving my finger with the wheel and I didn't realise I was doing that. But yeah, you know, that's that. I'm at around about 800 odd meters. I'm at about 800 odd meters, and I'm pushing forward, and then as you can see, it's not moving very far. And all the way I was getting weak signal, adjust your aerials, weak signal, adjust your aerials. I was at 50 meters high. I wasn't pushing it too high because there was a bit of a breeze, like gusts at times, and you'll see later on in the video that could have caused what happens, so bear with me, guys. I think eventually I hit about 950 odd meters, so just shy of 1,000 meters, so just shy of 1 kilometer, and this is supposed to do 4 kilometers. Now, is that 2 kilometers there, 2 kilometers back, or is it 4 kilometers out, 4 kilometers back? But anyway, it initiates, it's fail safe, return to home initiates, it starts coming back. You get the black screen for about 5 seconds, and then I got picture all the way. And just watch what happens on the way back. I am not adjusting the direction at all. I just turned the gimbal down a little bit there, but that is the only alterations that I'm doing. And please keep watching this video because of what happens. Now, the winds, I would say possibly could have been around about 10 mile-an-hour gusts at times, but not constant. And that could have had a part to play in I got there you go, it turned. Now that was not me, that must have been the wind, because the drone is so light. In higher winds it's going to get turned, because that's what happens with my Bebop. Exactly the same thing happens, because my Bebop, it's got image stabilization. You get that morph effect where you get like a black blurring from the middle and it bows out the screen. But this has got a 3-axis gimbal, so the whole thing turns. So as you saw there, again, the drone actually turned. That was not me, guys. And I've not seen any videos on YouTube where people are showing that in high winds. Now, I don't know if it does that all the time in high winds, or it's just doing it with my one. But I want to keep this video real for you guys. I'm going to keep it not edited. This was filmed, like I said, 2.7K at 30 frames a second, and I'm doing a voiceover as I'm watching the video. I'm talking and showing you and talking about what's happening. So all the way out up to 1,000 meters I was getting high wind velocity, be careful, land immediately, and all this kind of thing. And also I got one message saying max motor power reached or something. Now there is another message that I've heard of, but it doesn't, that's it. The other one I've heard of is insufficient power. Mine didn't say that. Mine said maximum motor power reached or something. So when I saw that message, I laid off the sticks and it never came back, so I didn't push in the wind. And I'm doing a hand landing. Now because it has sensors, put your hand underneath it when it's doing return to home landing, it won't land. And even if you pull the throttle down, it sees your hand and the drone will hire. So pinch it near the front, guys, where the gimbal is, pinch it near the front and you shouldn't have any issues. So I'm making 2 videos, so I land, and now I'm going to do my second flight. I'm in the same field, but I'm going in a different direction to see if that improves the range and if I get any error messages and all that kind of thing. I don't get the error messages other than weak signal, adjust aerials. I do not get maximum power, motor power reached, so I don't know what that was about. It's not exactly hot, it wasn't super windy, and I wasn't in sport mode. Flying both these flights were in P mode. I think because it was gusting at times, you would struggle in C mode because it's a more docile, slow, nice and pan and all that. I think in a bit of wind you will always struggle in C mode. C mode is just to get the money shot. You want a nice shot and it's not windy, put it into C mode and it will just slow down the movements, the yaw, the pitch and the roll. It just smooths it all out for you. Whereas in P mode it's a bit fast. So if you want the gimbal to move slow, guys, just roll it down slowly. Don't yank it all the way down because it will turn all the way down fast. So I know this is a long video, but there's a lot to talk about. Now as you can see, I'm hovering above these fields, these trees, and there's a little bit of sway in the trees, guys. Look, there's not much. So to me it didn't seem that windy, but I was getting high wind velocity all the time at 50 meters, and also I was getting the message of weak signal, like all the time, even at those tree line, and that's like 168 meters. I was getting the error message of weak signal, adjust antennas, weak signal, adjust. It's coming on, going off, coming on, going off. Said in flight, coming on, in flight, going. So in high urban areas, which is why I wanted to do this test for you guys and for myself, because when you go somewhere on holiday, if you can see lots of buildings, I already know I'm going to have issues, whereas I didn't know this before, because some people are probably not being completely straight with you. Look, I bought this drone, or I'm paying for this drone. I haven't bought it outright. I'm paying off monthly for like a year and a bit or whatever. So that's my money. I'm not sponsored. No one's paying me. I'm not a DJI, work for DJI. I think they make some amazing products, and this is one of them. But I'm telling you how it is. So if you think that these issues that I'm having is going to put you off, then don't buy this drone. I'm not saying, oh, it's fantastic, oh, it's the best thing since sliced bread, you've got to buy it, you'd be crazy. I do think it's fantastic, and I do think it's a good buy, but it's limited to certain areas. I think where this comes into its own, for me, is going to be in big open spaces where there are no buildings, and then I'll be able to get the 2 kilometres or the 4 kilometres. But where I live, I always get this issue with all my drones. So it is not the drone that is the issue. It is just the kind of drone it is and the area you're flying in. It will have an impact on your flights, guys. So be aware of these issues. If you're in an urban area, high Wi-Fi area, you will get lots of messages popping up all the time. But it still flies. It's just warning you to be careful. My Zeno never tells me that, so when I'm getting close to losing my signal, I don't get a message to say, be careful, you're getting close to your range. It just cuts off, and then it's, oh crap, hit the return to home and pray it comes home. I don't get the screen come back. Sometimes it could be 10 minutes after it's turned round before I get the picture back, and that's when you panic and think, is it coming back? But I'm not having any issues with mine, so that's why I'm not doing the new firmware update. Chris from the QC Guy channel on YouTube is telling people, and I trust him because he tests out the Zeno and all that, do not do the new update. He cannot see the benefits of doing this new update. He's put it on one of his drones and he's going to do some more testing and going to see if it actually does improve it, and if it doesn't, he's going to say, well, he's already said it, don't do it. You know, don't, if it's working, which mine's on 1.1.50, mine's still on that old software. I've not updated the gimbal or the controller or the flight controller. I'm leaving it as it is because for me, it works. So why mess about with something if it works? Like this drone, as soon as I turned it on, when I eventually got it all paired up to my controller, no bull, I got a firmware update straight away. I needed to do a gimbal update and a transmitter update and a drone update, which is great. That's one thing with DJI. When you get a drone, say you get a drone and you get it within the first few days of its launching, you're going to be a bit of a guinea pig for DJI without realising you're going to be a guinea pig. So what you do is, you post your videos like I am to say, this is what can happen in this situation, this is what can happen. Hopefully this filters back to DJI. If lots of people are experiencing it, they have to do something about it. They can't just ignore it. Now Hobson, ignore it. That's the problem with Hobson. They make good products, not fantastic, but good products. And I love my Zeno. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not knocking my Zeno. That's why I'm not updating it, because it flies perfect. But I'm just saying they're a bit lax in their customer support and letting you know what these new updates do, because the Chinese to English translation, honestly, you read the logs and it really don't make sense what they've actually changed, but that's just how they are. But as I say, this video had no turning issues in the high winds, but on the other videos you saw it turned itself twice. And I'm just putting that down to, at that particular time, I got a very high gust of wind, probably over 20 miles an hour. And that's why the whole drone turned, which is fine. You can edit that bit out. I want to keep it real. I want to keep it in, show you the good and the bad. And don't get me wrong, this is not a bad drone. This is a fantastic drone. I absolutely think this drone is bang on the money. And I'm so glad I bought it. I mean, I'd have loved it even more if it had a 4K camera. But then maybe it would have weighed more than 250 grams. I don't know. But some people are saying the sensor, it is a 4K sensor. They're just not using the whole of the sensor. but I don't, you know, can that be updated with a firmware update? If the hardware's there, then it's just a software compatibility, but I don't know. But then that will kill their Mavic Air market. So why would you go for this when the Mavic Air's got 4K? So obviously if they make this 4K, you're not going to buy the Mavic Air, because this is cheaper than the Mavic Air, more compatible, more portable, blah de blah de blah. But there you go, that's just some thoughts of DJI's marketing strategy, and they're very good at what they do. And I think this is a fantastic drone, I really do. Just be wary of urban areas and high winds. I was in P mode. If I put it in sport mode, maybe I wouldn't have had these issues, but I don't fly fast. When you see my videos and I'm actually moving fast, I've just fast forwarded it. I haven't flown that fast in real life, because I like to see what I'm looking at, you know, don't just whiz past stuff and don't see it. So that's the videos. What do you think, guys? Comment. You know, this is one of the hottest drones on the market at the moment, and in a day I get 90 odd views. My last video I got 90 odd views in over just a day. I'd have to get a Bebop, have to be on for 6 months to get 90 views. The video footage on the Bebop is fantastic, and the drone is fantastic itself. I've got no issues with my Bebop. My Bebop has gone further than this. My Bebop has gone 2,425 metres one way, so nearly 5,000 metres. So that's 5 kilometres. This at the moment is just doing 1, but that's, you know, the area you're in. So that's it, guys. What do you think? Please comment. I've been GadgetMan404. You guys have been amazing. I will catch you in the next amazing adventures with the DJI Mavic Mini.